Modern psychology tells us to analyze our thoughts, meditate on our feelings, and process our emotions, yet overthinking only gets worse. Ancient wisdom offers the opposite approach: decisive action, mental simplicity, and practical clarity. By drawing from Musashi's combat strategy, Taoist non-resistance, Stoic focus, and biblical insights, we can develop a system that eliminates overthinking at its root. And it begins with understanding what Japan's undefeated swordsman discovered about perfect decision-making. Miyamoto Musashi fought for his life in every duel. One moment of doubt could mean death. From this pressure, he created a dead simple rule: do nothing which is of no use. He saw something most of us miss. Overthinking creates a gap between seeing and doing. Fear lives in that gap. Doubt grows in that gap. Opportunity dies in that gap. Musashi wrote something powerful in his personal notes called The Way of Walking Alone. He said, "Accept everything just the way it is." He didn't mean you should just give up and take whatever life throws at you. He meant see reality clearly without adding extra mental drama. Look at what he did before his famous fight with Sasaki Kojiro. Most fighters would have spent days worrying, planning every move, imagining every possible way they might die. Musashi, he carved a wooden sword from an oar while on the boat to the duel. His hands stayed busy with simple work while his mind stayed quiet. People who watched this duel saw something rare. Musashi wasn't tense or overly focused. He was just there, fully present. When Kojiro moved, Musashi responded. No gap between seeing and acting, no overthinking. This works outside of sword fights too. Musashi also said, "Do not regret what you have done." That's not some deep moral lesson. It's practical. Regret is overthinking about stuff that already happened. It creates nothing but pain. Think about how most people make tough choices today. They list every possible option. They ask 10 friends what they think. They imagine everything that could go wrong. They second-guess themselves for days. When they finally decide, they're full of doubt. Musashi would just look at what's actually happening right now. Cut out all the extra mental noise. Deal directly with what's in front of him. Make the call and move on without looking back. This isn't being reckless. It's being clear. Musashi won 60 fights in a row because his mind didn't create problems that weren't there. He cut decision-making down to its bare bones. Want to stop overthinking? Don't add more practices to your life. Start cutting things out. Remove what doesn't matter right now. Any thought that doesn't help your current situation is just quicksand for your mind. But getting rid of mental noise is just the first step. To really beat overthinking, we need to learn what the Taoists figured out about the power of doing nothing. The ancient Chinese Taoists watched nature closely. They saw how rivers flow around rocks instead of trying to push through them. They noticed how plants grow without effort. Everything in nature seemed to work perfectly without overthinking. They called this Wu Wei, which just means not forcing. It's action that feels like non-action. Think about trying to fall asleep. The harder you try, the more impossible it gets. Sleep only comes when you stop trying to make it happen. That's Wu Wei. The Taoists realized overthinking happens when we force our minds to work harder than needed. We create problems by trying too hard to solve them. The ancient Taoist text, Tao Te Ching, puts it simply: do your work, then step back. Not do your work, then worry about it for the next 3 days. Here's a story that shows this perfectly. A master carpenter was asked how he created such beautiful work. He said, "When I'm about to make a piece, I guard against any mental activity. First, I make sure my body and mind are totally at peace. Once my skills and mind are aligned, I see the object as if it already exists. Only then do I start working." He didn't overthink. He cleared his mind first, then the action flowed naturally. This approach beats overthinking in a completely different way than Musashi. While Musashi eliminated useless thoughts through decisive action, Taoists eliminate overthinking by stopping the forcing. Think about the last time you lost your keys. The harder you tried to remember where you put them, the more your brain locked up. But the moment you stopped trying, maybe while taking a shower or driving to work, suddenly the answer popped into your head. That's Wu Wei. Your mind solved the problem once you stopped forcing it. You can use this today. When stuck on a hard problem at work, don't keep hammering away at it for hours. Take a walk. Play with your dog. Do something completely different. Solutions often appear when you stop actively searching for them. The Taoist approach teaches us to work with our minds, not against them. Forcing your brain to focus harder creates tension. Tension blocks clear thinking. Relaxing into the problem lets answers rise naturally. One easy way to practice this: when overthinking hits, ask yourself, what would happen if I just didn't force this decision right now? Often, the pressure you feel is self-created. The world rarely needs answers as urgently as your anxious mind believes. While Musashi taught us to cut away useless thoughts, the Taoists show us how to let go of the forcing itself. But there's still a piece missing. How do we know which thoughts actually deserve our attention? For this, we need to turn to what the Stoics discovered about the true source of overthinking. The ancient Stoics of Rome faced chaos just like we do. Their world had plagues, wars, and political madness too. In this mess, they found an incredibly simple way to avoid overthinking. They divided everything into two buckets: things you control and things you don't. That's it. Nothing complicated. But this simple split destroys overthinking at its source. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus put it bluntly: some things are up to us and some things are not up to us. Overthinking happens when we waste mental energy on that second bucket, the stuff we can't control. Think about it. When was the last time you spent hours worrying about what other people think of you, the weather on your wedding day, traffic that made you late, a decision someone else made, how people will react to your idea? None of these are in your control. None. Yet they probably eat up 80% of your thinking time. Marcus Aurelius, who was literally running the Roman Empire, wrote in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This guy managed an empire with less overthinking than most of us use to send an email. The Stoics realized that overthinking is mostly about trying to control the uncontrollable. Your mind spins in circles because it's trying to solve problems it literally cannot solve. Here's how to use this today. When caught in an overthinking loop, ask one question: is this something I can control right now? If yes, take direct action like Musashi taught. If no, practice letting go like the Taoists. That's it. No fancy techniques, just honest sorting. Your boss's mood, not in your control. Your reaction to your boss, in your control. The economy, not in your control. Your spending habits, in your control. Other people's opinions, not in your control. The quality of your work, in your control. The Stoics discovered something powerful. Mental freedom comes from focusing only on what you can influence. Everything else is just wasted energy. A Roman Stoic named Seneca said something that cuts right to the heart of overthinking. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Most of your overthinking creates problems that never actually happen. You script conversations that never take place. You solve problems that don't exist. You replay scenarios that are already over. The Stoics give us the perfect filter to stop this waste. If you can't control it, it doesn't deserve your mental energy. Musashi taught us to eliminate useless thoughts through action. The Taoists showed us how to stop forcing outcomes. The Stoics give us the perfect way to sort which thoughts deserve our attention. But there's still one more piece to this puzzle. Even with these powerful tools, our minds can get lost in complexity. For the final piece, we need to look at what ancient biblical wisdom reveals about the most overlooked cure for overthinking. Thousands of years ago, the Hebrew sages noticed something about the human mind. It craves certainty. We want to understand everything, control everything, figure everything out. This endless pursuit creates most of our overthinking. The book of Ecclesiastes cuts straight to the point. The more words, the more vanity. What is the advantage to man? Who knows what is good for man while he lives? This ancient text recognized a simple truth. Overthinking comes from trying to know what cannot be known. King Solomon, known as the wisest man of his time, wrote something shocking in Proverbs. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. This isn't just religious advice. It's practical wisdom about the limits of thinking. Some things cannot be solved by more analysis. Some decisions can't be made better by gathering more data. The ancient Hebrews practiced something we rarely do today: intellectual humility. They understood that the human mind has limits. Trying to push beyond those limits doesn't lead to better decisions. It leads to paralysis. Look at this passage from Ecclesiastes. What has been is what will be, and what has been done is what will be done, and there is nothing new under the sun. This isn't pessimism, it's liberation. The writer is saying, stop overthinking as if your situation is unique in human history. People have faced similar choices for thousands of years. The basics of a good life haven't changed. The biblical solution to overthinking isn't more analysis, it's simplicity. Proverbs says, better is a handful of quietness than 2 hands full of toil and striving after wind. 1 handful of quiet clarity beats 2 handfuls of frantic mental activity. This wisdom gives us a powerful tool, the permission to stop overthinking when it becomes futile, to accept that some things will remain uncertain, to make peace with the limits of what we can know. In your daily life, this might look like setting time limits on decisions, accepting good enough instead of perfect, recognizing when more research won't help, finding peace with uncertainty. The ancient Hebrews understood something we often forget. Wisdom isn't endless knowledge. Wisdom is knowing when to stop pursuing knowledge. These 4 ancient practices are powerful on their own, but they become unstoppable when combined. Let's turn these timeless insights into a step-by-step system you can use the next time your mind gets stuck in an overthinking loop. Step 1. The Stoic filter. Start by asking one simple question. Is this something I can control right now? This immediately eliminates half your overthinking. If it's not in your control, you're wasting mental energy. Politics, other people's opinions, past events, most future outcomes, none of these deserve your mental bandwidth. Draw a clear line between what you can and cannot influence in this exact moment. Step 2. The Musashi cut. For things you can control, apply Musashi's principle. Do nothing which is of no use. Cut away any mental activity that doesn't directly serve your current situation. No extra scenarios, no imaginary conversations, no what-ifs. Ask, what's the simplest next action I can take? Then take it. Remember, Musashi wouldn't spend 3 days thinking about a sword strike. He'd just make the cut. Step 3. The Taoist release. When solutions don't come easily, stop forcing them. Most tough problems solve themselves when you stop hammering at them directly. Your subconscious mind works best when your conscious mind steps aside. Change your environment. Do something physical. Let your mind work in the background. Remember, trying harder often makes things worse. The answer appears when you stop looking for it. Step 4. The biblical acceptance. Finally, make peace with uncertainty. Some things will remain unclear no matter how much you analyze them. Some decisions will never feel 100% right. That's not failure. That's being human. Set time limits on decisions. When the time is up, choose based on what you know now, not what you wish you knew. This system works because it matches how your mind naturally functions. You're not fighting your thoughts, you're channeling them efficiently. Let me show you how this works with a real example. Say you're overthinking whether to change jobs. Your mind keeps spinning with possibilities, fears, and what-ifs. First, apply the Stoic filter. What parts of this can I actually control? You can't control if they'll hire you. You can't control how your current boss will react. You can't control the economy or job market. You can control your application. You can control your skill development. You can control your research about the new company. This immediately narrows your focus to what matters. Next, use the Musashi cut. What's the simplest next action? Maybe it's updating your resume. Maybe it's having one conversation with someone at the target company. Do that one thing now without mental drama. Then apply the Taoist release. After taking that action, let go. Don't force the outcome. Don't check your email every 5 minutes. Let the situation develop naturally while you focus elsewhere. Finally, embrace biblical acceptance. Set a deadline for your decision. When it comes, choose with the information you have, accepting that complete certainty is impossible. This system defeats overthinking because it works with your brain's natural patterns, not against them. The most common obstacle people face when trying this approach is the habit of overthinking itself. Your mind will resist this simple framework because overthinking feels productive. It feels like you're doing something. When this happens, remember that every great wisdom tradition recognized the same truth. The busy mind is rarely the effective mind. Start small. Apply this framework to one decision today. Notice how much mental energy you save. Build from there.